Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video of Gavin Plays 456.
Well, it's been a while, hasn't it? Yeah, a whole calendar year. That's how long it took for me to post another video. Let's get into it.
Video games have been around for 65 years and have shaped millions, even billions of childhoods around the world. And it's easily the most successful business and media overall. But why do we play video games? Why do we get enjoyment out of moving pixels on a screen? Well, that's what we're going to find out in today's video. Dopamine. Sounds cliche, but dopamine is actually a really big reason on why we play video games. Like say you're playing a Sonic game and you beat a level. Well, our brains are wired in such a way that when you beat a level, you get a little rush of excitement knowing that you're going to get a change of scenery, unless you're playing Sonic Forces. And it feels like the dopamine we have. Tra-la-leo, tra-la-la. Skibbity Ohio Sigma.
Shut up!
Anyways, as I was saying, the dopamine we get from video games is very different from the dopamine we get from social media. There's social media where you're mindlessly scrolling through videos that 11 times out of 10 won't give you any long-term gain. You scroll for about 6 to 7 hours, and you watch the video for about 7 to 10 seconds, and then you get that empty feeling in your head that the next stimulating video is just a swipe away, and millions of others, might I add, just a swipe away. Okay, I know I'm rambling, but the point is that social media dopamine is cheap and fizzles out within 10 seconds before you just move on to the next clip. And with the massive surge of OnlyFans models on TikTok and Insta, literally on TikTok just searching for Derrick Rose clips and got ass blasted by a butt-naked booty. But with the surge of adult content plaguing social media, it's not really helping, it's just fueling the fire. But since I just spouted on for 37 years about modern brain rot, might as well just be its own video, honestly. But moving on to video game dopamine. It's better because with social media, you're not really using your brain at all. As with the satisfying icons and stimulating videos, with the only movement you have to do is just swipe with your thumb. Yeah, video games actually require you to think. For example, you're playing Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order for the first time, be it on Xbox, PC, PS4, whatever. The game gives you a tutorial and rundown of what you need to do to be successful in the game. Then once you're doing some platforming, it throws you onto a slide that you have to dodge objects on. You save your buddy, then the big bad faction of the game captures you, then your buddy dies, and then you get thrown onto a train, and everything learned up to that point you're gonna have to incorporate in this train section. Then you're thrown into your first boss, and that's the tutorial. And you heavily and actively had to use your brain. You felt something watching your best buddy get absolutely laser shanked right in front of you. You felt tense playing through the train section. You felt underpowered when facing your first boss fight. But you actually did something. You had to pick up little spritz of information as you went along, and you actually had to memorize the controls, didn't you? The point is that you actually did something, and you actually felt something. And you get sucked in by all the satisfying things you can pull off on your screen. You get invested into the narrative because, well, the stakes are high, as you have to face a faction of nearly 1 million men, while you are just one man. You're going to meet new characters, and you're going to get a big change of scenery from the cold metal of Braca to the dense greenery of Bogano. Clearly, the rushes of dopamine are very much more prominent, prevalent, and prosperous than the brain-dead social media system where all you do is just scroll. Video games are brain poison? In short, abso-fucking-lutely not. This stereotype came about when video games were in their first stage of popularity, particularly in the mid-80s to mid-90s. And as we can see in later decades, this stereotype aged just about as well as the IGN Sonic Unleashed review. And video games are more popular than absolutely flippin' everything. But people still find a way to say that video games aren't healthy for your body, and in turn, don't give your body any long-term or short-term benefits whatsoever. But these claims have been debunked to shit because of these many reasons. Numero uno, they help improve cognitive function and reaction time. Action-adventure games like Spider-Man, Batman, and, as I just mentioned, Star Wars, and FPS shooters such as Doom, Call of Duty, and Halo require you to act quickly and stay on your toes. And stay the hell alert, because one slip up, 1 second of idle, and everything crumbles beneath your feet. And I myself especially know this, because you best believe in 5th grade dodgeball I was dodging that shit like Neo from the Matrix himself. Number 2, they require you to be pretty smart at times. Games like Portal, Tetris, Outer Wilds, and even the Batman Arkham games require you to utilize that noggin to solve, you guessed it, puzzles, some of which require critical thinking, often having you to stop and think to yourself, wait, that's not right. Or, dude, I swear that's the correct way to do it. And of course,
Dude, how do I get past this?
and many people, like my don't tell anyone, end up caving in and just searching up a YouTube video. Then you realize what you did wrong and you just feel like a really big buffoon. And even then, some tutorial videos are full of so many steps to complete that you might get something wrong and you have to go back and you have to hold it into your brain for long enough so that you don't lose it. You'll solve the puzzle. Number 3, stress relief and the feeling of freedom. Video games help relieve stress as they help us get distracted from all the absurd and horrible things going on in the real world, and escape in a way. We enter a world where we have free will to do whatever the game's boundaries limit us to do. They allow us to escape into a world where nothing shitty in the real world can stop us from anything we would like to achieve. We feel comfortable with video games because for the most part they're not tedious, monotonous, or stress-inducing. We enter a world only we can bend and nothing can stop us. We enter a flow state, if you will. A sense of reward when we've completed little tasks, and a sense of completion when we've beaten the game's campaign and mastered the core fundamentals of that game. In short, video games don't poison the brain, but they rather supplement it with skills that are crucial for everyday life. They make you feel. A large sum of the reason of why people try to undermine the value of video games is because people try to make you believe that video games are a waste of time. All the time spent playing video games, you could have spent precious moments with your family, being productive, working out, exercising, finding out what life really is all about, and having real fun. Video games aren't just giving you dopamine all around. Obviously, there has to be some kind of story connected with video games, and as video games have progressed over time, stories have gotten a lot more ambitious, adventurous, and have some aspects that some of the best narratives just don't have. A perfect example of this is Marvel's Spider-Man PS4, with a narrative that evokes emotions such as triumph, despair, grief, completion, and conflict. That's what makes this story so great. It isn't just a superhero story. It is built around themes that mirror human struggles. And this is how they show up in Spider-Man PS4's masterful story. Despair. After the Devil's Breath crisis breaks out, the city of New York falls apart. The city is sick, twisted, overrun with escaped prisoners from the Raft and Rikers Island, and patrolled by Sable forces. Peter's injured, exhausted, tired, hanging by a thread, and he is severely outnumbered. For a moment, the despair feels overwhelming. It seems like Peter/Spider-Man just cannot win. That is what makes Peter's perseverance, willingness to carry on, to move forward, to stop the evil forces of New York City, that much more hard-hitting. Conflict. Conflict is everywhere. Peter versus his villains, the demons, the Sinister Six, and Fisk. Peter versus himself, torn between living as his happy self in Peter Parker, or the exhausting, daunting, and absolutely overwhelming task of being Spider-Man. This web,
Pun absolutely intended,
of conflict pushes Peter to his absolute limit, and the story forward as it shows Peter's hardest fights aren't physical, but they are rather emotional and moral. Triumph. Despite the odds, Spider-Man defeats the Sinister Six, saves the city from collapse, and shows why he's a true hero. His triumph isn't about winning every fight easily, it's about rising above despair, pushing through heartbreak, continuing to support and protect others, no matter the cost. Peter's triumph is portrayed as resilience. Grief. Grief runs through the whole story. First, Peter loses the ones he loves most, Jefferson Davis, who sparked Miles' journey, and ultimately, the rock that has carried him through all of the trials and tribulations he's been through, Aunt May, dies of the devil's breath. These moments aren't just shocks, but they show how Peter grows and continues to push forward, even though he loses the ones that he loved most. The game and the story shows that being Spider-Man means making sacrifices, and grief is what grounds Spider-Man's story in heroism and humanity. Completion. The ending provides closure, but leaves space for the future. Aunt May's death completes Spider-Man's emotional journey. He accepts that he can't save everybody, but he will always try. Miles discovering his powers represents the passing of the torch, revealing that Spider-Man's legacy is way more than just one person. Harry in the tank teases that there is a new chapter yet to come. But alas, the emotional arc of this story feels complete. These examples show that video game narratives can be absolutely way more than just stop bad guys and beat big evil bad guy, but rather they have depth to the story, moments that we can absolutely relate to in one way or the other. And this proves the point that, despite being for entertainment, video games can tell great stories, and with such creativity, might I add, with some narratives getting pretty fucking deep at times. That's why video games hook us in, because they have the most gripping, creative, and intuitive narratives that we've ever seen. And to me, and many others, that's what makes it so much more than moving a character on a screen. Conclusion. Video games are subjective at the end of the day, and not everyone has to like them. But to the people that make us gamers feel small and weak because we're, quote, not being productive, not finding out what life has to offer, and in general just not working hard, I just don't respect you. Because video games are so much more than just pressing buttons and moving pixels. They evoke emotion, build character, help the brain unwind from the grind of a 9-to-5 job, the 8-hour, sometimes boring, sometimes stressful school day, and just help the chaos of life be put aside for a couple of hours. Video games are the world's most popular media outlet for a reason. They don't get annual award shows for nothing. There aren't fan bases on the internet full of millions of members who laugh, rejoice, argue, cry, and celebrate their favorite video games for no reason. If video games didn't exist, humans wouldn't thrive, be able to tell masterful and creative works of art through game design, art direction, voice acting, 3D animation, and storytelling. Video games aren't just a hobby, not a brain-poisoning virus. They're not a waste of time. They are a lifestyle. So next time you think, why am I playing video games when I can actually be productive? Just know that video games aren't made for the lazy people. They're not made for the mentally and physically unproductive, but rather, they're made for all of us.
Thank you to everybody who watched this video till the end. I have no idea how you're still awake. This video took way longer to make than expected. I mean, school, homework, and just getting caught up in the web of life, really interfered with my production on this video. Having to go back from audio logging and editing my video, and also audio logging, looking at my script, got really repetitive, but I feel the results show. A lot of commentary YouTubers like to talk about topics that they really don't give a shit about, so being able to talk about video games for about 15 minutes was very educational in a way for myself and probably for the viewers. It allowed me to dig deep into my inner core and research and talk about something that I've been doing since I was 8 years old.
If you found my content entertaining, consider subscribing, as it would really help out the channel and help me more as I continue my path in making YouTube videos.
For a real first attempt at making a video essay / retrospective, I'd say it wasn't too shabby. I mean, it's not 1.2 million views, not too shabby, but I'd say it's a pretty good attempt.
We'll probably be doing more videos like this in the future, probably on more topics, probably more deeper topics about video games and all that crazy stuff. But moving forward, what I want to do with this channel is I want to make it a gaming channel. I'm going to do gaming playthroughs on video games that I won't tell you, but I do have many videos that I want to make on video games, and I'm working on making a lot of fun videos. I'm going to do playthroughs, I'm going to do me finding secrets in video games, doing side missions, all that fun stuff. So if you guys like this video and you want to see more from me, consider hitting that subscribe button, hitting that notification bell so you don't miss a single video on my channel. And I mean, 4 years of being on YouTube, it's great, man. Honestly, this YouTube thing's fun, and I can't wait to see what I can bring for the future of this channel. And I mean, if you guys watch this the whole way through, you guys are just freaking incredible. You probably fell asleep, like, probably after the halfway mark of this video, but anyways, enough talking, enough rambling. You guys probably heard me talk enough during this video, so yeah, that's all I really have to say, and I'm going to close out on this. I'm going to bring a lot more content to this channel moving forward, so that's all I have to say. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Gavin Plays 456 has left the server.